The Diamedica Glostevent Helix anesthesia machine is designed to continue to function even when power or oxygen fail. The machine produces its own oxygen and medical air, and has backup power, making it perfect for low-resource environments. The Glostevent Helix is a low-flow, draw-over anaesthetic machine designed to perform to full capability in some of the most challenging environments around the world. The machine has an integral oxygen concentrator which produces medical oxygen and air. It has been designed to run if the power is intermittent or non-existent. It has 2 flow meters controlling the supply of oxygen and air which flow into the back bar connected to the low-resistance draw-over vaporizer. The gases are drawn in by the ventilator over the vaporizer, where they pick up the anaesthetic agent and become the carrier gas. This is then delivered to the patient. The circuit is an open circuit, not a rebreathing circuit, meaning cross-contamination between patients is reduced. This also minimizes the amount of consumables required to run the machine. The patient's expired gases are removed through a built-in scavenging system. There is an oxygen connection fitted to the rear of the machine if required, one with a cylinder connection with bull nose and pin index and another for a wall connection if available. The system consists of 4 main elements. The first element is a low-resistance, thermally stable vaporizer and breathing system, which allows the system to operate in continuous flow or in draw-over mode. The second is an efficient gas-driven ventilator suitable for adult and pediatric use that is located on the swing arm. The third element is an oxygen concentrator that produces medical oxygen and air from the atmosphere. The fourth element is an uninterruptible power supply, UPS, and battery backup support system which will provide power to the system if electrical power fails. The Glostevent Helix has a unique low-resistance vaporizer which enables seamless transition from continuous flow to draw-over anaesthesia. This vaporizer is suitable for isoflurane or halothane. Either can be used, but only one at a time. A separate vaporizer for sevoflurane is available on request. The vaporizer is thermally stable, ensuring a steady, controlled output of anaesthetic agent. The output is controlled by moving the lever across the front of the vaporizer. The dual-agent vaporizer is calibrated for either isoflurane or halothane. The scale runs from 0 to 5%. It is filled by unscrewing the cap and using the funnel supplied. The vaporizer can hold up to 150 milliliters of anaesthetic agent, and the level of agent should always be visible in the sight glass. The reservoir bag is fitted to the back bar and stores the oxygen and air mixture up to a maximum of 2 liters. Once the reservoir bag is full, there is an overpressurizing valve fitted to the back bar, which relieves at 5 centimeters of water pressure. The overpressurizing valve protects the patient by preventing the circuit from overpressurizing. There is also a one-way valve connected to the back bar to allow room air to be drawn in if the patient's minute volume is greater than the gas mixture being delivered. In an emergency situation, the system can be flushed with oxygen using the oxygen flush button. In draw-over mode, room air is drawn in here, over the vaporizer, through the ventilator, and out to the patient. You can add supplementary oxygen to this room air to increase the FiO2. If more gas is put into the system than the patient's minute volume, the reservoir bag will fill and an increase in pressure will turn the system into continuous flow. The normal patient circuit is an open circuit through a standard 2-limb autoclavable tube. The patient non-rebreathing valves are located in the control panel. An adult and pediatric circuit are provided as standard. The end of the circuit can be fitted directly to a mask or ET tube. The PEEP valve supplied can be fitted to the patient return connection, which can be used from 5 to 20 centimeters of water pressure. This can be adjusted by removing the PEEP valve from the casing and turning clockwise to increase pressure and anti-clockwise to decrease pressure. Waste gases from the expiratory side of the patient valve can be taken through the scavenger tube. The scavenger is located on the back right-hand leg of the machine and is operated by a switch on the top. This operates a fan built into the scavenger to assist in removing the patient's expired gases. The low-resistance system allows patients to breathe by their own inspiratory efforts. If assisted ventilation is required, the ventilator can be used by setting the breaths per minute, tidal volume and patient pressure. Alternatively, the self-inflating adult and pediatric bags can provide manual ventilation. The Glostovent Helix ventilator is a gas-driven ventilator suitable for adults and pediatrics, and for use in operating theatres or for longer-term ventilation in ICU. The bellows are stored behind the machine and can be pulled out for use. The ventilator can be used in two modes, either pressure control or volume control. The tidal volume is controlled by turning the helix screw on the top of the bellows and reading the setting here. The tidal volume scale ranges from 35 to 1200. A lock knob is fitted to secure the desired tidal volume setting. There is an on-off control with a power on light, a patient pressure control and gauge. There is a breath per minute control that will provide a rate from 4 to 40 breaths per minute by simply turning it to the desired setting and triggering breathing control to assist recovery after surgery. The patient pressure is controlled on the front panel, turned clockwise to increase the patient pressure and anti-clockwise to decrease the pressure. There are alarms for high pressure and low pressure, with a mute for the audible low pressure alarm. When the ventilator is switched on, initially all three lights show and the low pressure alarm remains on until there is pressure in the circuit. If the UPS batteries have discharged and there is a power failure, then there is an emergency backup compressor which will run the ventilator on room air for approximately 12 hours. A minimal amount of gas is used to drive the ventilator, making it economical to use when oxygen is not readily available. The gas used to drive the ventilator is recycled back into the circuit to reduce the amount of oxygen needed to run the machine. To run a standard pediatric circuit AIRS T-piece, a higher gas flow is required. Simply connect to the patient outlet on the control panel. As the reservoir bag fills, the circuit becomes continuous flow. The circuit will operate as normal. The oxygen concentrator will provide oxygen at up to 10 litres per minute at 95%. It also provides air up to 10 litres per minute. There are two flow meters fitted to the Glostovent Helix, one for oxygen and one for air. The flow meters control the amount of oxygen and air supplied to the patient in litres per minute. This is indicated by the float in the flow meter. There is a reset button for power surges and there is an hour counter to show hours of use. There is an indicator light that shows the level of oxygen being produced. After a few minutes operation, the light will come on. When the light goes out, this indicates that the oxygen concentration has risen above 85%. Connect the power lead and turn on the UPS. When the UPS is running in normal mode, it serves two functions. First, it acts as a voltage stabilizer to provide a constant, safe power supply, protecting against power surges that could damage the equipment. It will accept voltage from 160 to 300 volts. The second function is to provide battery backup support for the entire system, providing full functionality including the oxygen concentrator. If the power fails, the battery within the UPS will run the Glostovent Helix for approximately 30 minutes. When power is restored, the UPS will automatically recharge. First, connect the UPS to the power supply. The unit will automatically go into bypass mode. The battery backup is not available in this mode. To enable battery backup and voltage stabilization, hold down the ON button. The display will move from bypass to line mode. To turn the UPS off after use, hold down the OFF button and the UPS will move from line to bypass mode. When disconnected from the power supply, after a few moments the UPS will automatically shut down. If the power is disconnected while the UPS is in line mode, the device will assume there has been a power failure and the battery will be depleted over time. External patient monitoring can also be connected to the UPS. If the electrical power goes off for more than 30 minutes and the UPS battery life has depleted, a reserve oxygen cylinder can be connected which will provide up to 300 hours of use for the Gloucester Vent ventilator.